Well, I've been gone for a little while here. Been dealing with some stuff and got sick, and have been working on the Mustang, which I'm sure everybody's, I don't know, the content on the Mustang's not doing so hot, so it's whatever. I love that car to death, and I'm going to keep doing stuff with that car regardless. But yeah, I've been so focused on the Mustang in the last couple months, maybe 3, I haven't really touched anything else other than the Mustang, and I got one other bike that I was working on, which I might do some little update stuff on the Buell, because I probably should have filmed all that, because I did a lot to that bike in like a solid weekend. But yeah, someone was like, hey man, you should pull the Honda out. I haven't seen that thing in forever, and you know, we can go screw around and have some fun with them. It's like, yeah, about that, I'll just show you. She's been sitting a while, and it is not good. It has become home to many things. You know, we got like mold and stuff growing here, and I bought parts and stuff to throw on this thing. And, hopefully the battery's got enough juice in it that it'll still crank after all this time that it's been sitting. I mean, it got funky in here. I mean, I was dailing it, so it stayed relatively clean. Now it's not pretty. So I guess I'm gonna see if it'll fire up. If she'll fire up, great. I'll move the Jeep and get this thing moved out of here and cleaned up a little bit, because I got some cool stuff. Like, I got the new seal pieces that go on the outside of the door, new turbo blanket, I had a bunch of stuff to do with the gauges in there. And yeah, let's see if we get her to fire back up. Let's see what she does. I don't even have a fuel pump. Dead as a doornail. Fucking bugs. Yeah, figures. The fuel pump won't even cycle. This will open her up and get a battery charger on it and go from there. Alright, I'm gonna let that charge. That's already charging. That barely started. I haven't driven anything other than the Mustang in like 3 months. So I guess I'm gonna let that thing run behind me for a little bit, charge the battery, and grab a screwdriver so I can pop that guy off. I'm gonna throw these trim pieces in so I can finally put a seal against that window. Because when you don't have a door panel on the inside, if you don't have that trim out there, the glass in these things, if you've got them rolled down at all, they chatter so damn bad going down the road. Which, I mean, I know, fucking race car, deal with it, but it looks better having it in there, and I want to get those guys in there. So we'll do that while the battery charges, and then hopefully by the time I get all that, it'll have enough juice so we can fire it up, take it up front, and get her all cleaned up again, and hit it with the power washer, get some glamour shots. So I'll be right back. Alright. See, I got this a whole lot easier than everybody else because I don't have door panels. But normally there'd just be a little panel right here that pops off with like 3 clips. And then I can take this piece off. Or your mirror if you have a normal setup. Mine has the delete. But anyhow, I have to excuse me if my voice sounds a little screwy. Like I said, I'm still getting over a cold. I've been sick. Alright, do that. Roll this guy down. Cool. And then these guys literally just pop in there. That lip, the notch goes towards the front. All the clips line up with the holes. It's pretty easy. Well, somewhat. It's Chinese, so it doesn't quite line up perfect, but the clips move at least. There you go. Nice. Now we stick this side back on. Cool. I need that. Oh well. Not gonna lie, these Chinese ones kind of suck. They don't fit very good. Get this guy to slide back underneath this B-pillar trim. There we go. Maybe that'll hold it. A little better, a little more complete. But yeah, it sits underneath over here. I just slid it back on its clips to get it to slide underneath there a little bit. Otherwise it's wanting to pop up. Anyhow, well, that's the easy side. The other side, I've got little 8mm bolts in, so I gotta go get a different wrench so I can swap that side out. But otherwise, same process. Take off the inner trim piece over there. If you got door cards, it doesn't matter because you don't mess with any of that. And just pop that piece, take that off. On the newer ones, you might have to go and take this off, but I got this little carbon fiber piece that's pop riveted on there and in really bad shape. You can see where it got cracked already. But good enough for me. Anyhow, I'm going to get a wrench and we'll do the other side real quick. So yeah, these little clips slide back and forth on here. So you may have to reposition them a little bit to get them to line up with yours. That's what I've got to do right now, is move them around. slide back underneath this tailpiece. There you go. I think that clicked down. Doesn't really give you much indication that it's on all the way. It's not like most things where you get like a satisfying plastic click sound when it goes in. It's my old beat up Arlen Ness mirror. It's actually the right side mirror off of Harley, and the reason why I'm using this right side because it curves up the correct way, and two, if it was a left side I would be using it on a bike, but the left side on that bike got damaged, and you can't buy just the one, you got to get the damn set. So I ended up with an extra left side just kind of sitting around, and I figured it'll make a cool mirror on the car, I guess. Cool, just like Legos, easy shit. Wish I had my electric freaking leaf blower from work or something here so I can blow all this crap off, but I guess I'm gonna get a stick and start going after all these freaking spider webs and crap everywhere inside of it. Hopefully that battery will be charged up enough to spin this thing over in a minute. So yeah, I'm gonna go screw around for a little bit and I'll bring y'all back on when got something worth actually watching. It's so bad in here. It's like freaking Haunted Mansion or some crap. I promise there is a Black Widow somewhere inside this car. For sure. If not a snake or some mice or who knows what else. It's like when I went and got the Plymouth. That poor car had been sitting in a pole barn for like 10 years when I bought that car. And I bought it non-running up in Asheville. Spent a little over 3-4 hours in this guy's yard out there. And I had filmed majority of it to get the car running and driving. And I was doing like my own, Vice Grip Garage kind of thing. And I was going to film the whole thing and drive it home. And that was going to be my entry to YouTube to get started. And lo and behold, the guy wanted to hang out and bullshit with me the whole time I was working on it, which is fine. I got no problems with that. I can be a social person. And then I guess after like 2 hours of, talking and shooting the shit and realizing I was working on this car and recording it, he freaked out. Like, absolutely had a coronary that I could not use any of the footage with him in it. He was absolutely not. You are not putting my face on YouTube and blah, blah, blah. I was like, alright, great. I'll respect that. So, he ruined like 2 hours worth of footage, which is completely useless because that was like all the good stuff of, messing with the carburetor and the brakes and everything to get it to where I can drive the damn thing. I was like, alright, well, that sucks. And then I drove it home and absolutely nothing happened. The car fired up, it ran, it drove great the whole way home. I had no issues with it. I got home with it early enough to then drive it to the tag office and get the registration and everything transferred over on it. Like it just ran and drove and did good. Hell, I bet the thing will probably fire up right now. It's a great car. It sucks I got to get rid of it, but anyhow. Yeah, it was very disgusting when I went and got it too. Alright. Damn, Otis. Yeah, I'm gonna need to blow the whole car out and vacuum, and this is gonna be a mess. This is bad. I almost don't want to open up the hood. How bad is it under here? Because I can see stuff from outside. Which another thing too, if you guys follow me on Instagram, I got the hood like a while ago when I quit driving the thing. I had the hood re-clear coated, so it's not all nasty looking anymore. As expected. Right then. I feel bad. This poor car. Alright, where's my stick? Making a big old wad of cotton candy here now. Ah, it's so bad. It's everywhere. Why did they put webs in here? Like, what the heck did those spiders think they were going to catch down in here? Dig all this out here off of the manifold, because all that'll get nice and smoky when I fire it up, because this sucker gets hot. Haven't happened before, but there's always that thought of like, hey, what if all these dried leaves and shit sitting on top of my manifold catch on fire next to the turbo? I mean, they smoke like they are, that's for damn sure. I saw that piece of electrical tape there, and at first I thought it was like snake skin. I was like, oh great, here we go. Still a cool car though. I gotta clean this up. Right. Nothing but dead gas. It smells so bad. This poor car. Alright. I'm gonna let that charge a little bit here. I'm gonna move her up front and start cleaning this thing off so we can actually do some work on it. And get some video, actually go drive this thing. say she cleaned up pretty damn good. I still got to clean out the inside of the car, but then we got the outside all scrubbed down and looking halfway decent. So now, I guess, yeah, go put some fresh fuel in it, because the gas in it is dead as can be. And luckily right down the street from me is 93 ethanol free. So I'm going to fill this thing up. Probably grab something to eat, because I have no inclinations of what to do for dinner tonight. And then we're going to start pulling that dash apart and do this really badass gauge cluster setup that I got for it, because I think y'all are going to like that. It's very 2000s. I like it. It's cool. Alright, so it's been a little while. I went on ahead and got it up front, got it washed up, and that battery would not hold a charge. That sucker is toast. So ended up having to jump in the Mustang and go get a battery. Got that, got something to eat, came back, and okay, throw the battery in, let's take it up the street, put some fresh gas in it, and by God does this thing run terrible. I'm hoping I just got water in something ignition related, and it's not just what's left of that bad gas that I'm gonna have to just fight through to make it run. But anyhow, I'm gonna pull all my covers off, pull my plugs out, blow all those out, pull the distributor cap, blow that out. I didn't blast any of it directly with the pressure washer, but I did pressure wash the engine bay, so there's probably a high chance I got water in something, and hopefully it's just that simple. So yeah, I'm gonna grab a screwdriver, pop that cap off, pop that cover off, and we'll go from there and see what we find. So it definitely didn't help matters. It was there was some condensation and stuff inside the distributor cap, but the edge of my rotor here does not look happy. You can see that kind of arcing burn there. You look at the pickups, or all the little contacts inside the distributor. Focus. There you go. You can see all that green growth and stuff on the ends. So I'm going to do the backyard tune-up thing and clean all that crap off of there. Hit that with some fine sandpaper real quick and see what that does. But I'm also going to pull the top cover off, and I mean, everything looks like they're down and tight in there boot-wise, but who knows, there could be water in those tubes too, so I want to make sure of that. I mean, it's only been sitting outside for like 3-4 months through God knows how many freaking thunderstorms and whatnot, with a hole directly above it for water to seep in. So yeah, I'm gonna clean those up, pull that off, and yeah, we'll see what else we find here. Good news, everybody! So those VMS distributor caps for the external coils, like I've got the MSD blaster coil set up on there, that's external. The contact points inside here, where your rotor spins around in contacts, those guys are made out of copper or brass, I don't know, whichever. I know one's harder than the other, and it's the same materials, but if you mix them in different ratios, you get one or the other. Side tangent over. Anyways, they start looking like the Statue of Liberty when they sit. They had that green growth shit all over them, and that's what was causing my issue. But anyhow, that's all cleaned up, put back together, and she runs fucking good now. I haven't put my little clear cap thing on there because I want to clean it, because that condensation and all that crap in there. If anyone's curious about that, these standoffs I made, these are just little S-bent pieces of aluminum that are sharing valve cover bolts, and then I put a 1/4-20 nutsert in either one of those, and then the clear cover is just a nothing special piece of Lexan. You can buy big sheets of this stuff at Lowe's for like $20 for like a 5-foot sheet of this shit. But anyhow, I just cut out a little piece of that, drilled a couple holes, and yeah, it just makes a cool little spark plug cover and keeps the rainwater from hitting directly on top of the holes for the spark plugs, because of that hole right there. And if not for that hole, this hood would not fit. The engine would stick up through the hood. I think on a stock hood, because it has like a normal natural curve to it there, it clears, because I see people with B-Series in these cars all the time and they don't have to cut holes in their hoods. But because the way this one's vented, it like slopes down right there, and it just laid on the valve cover. I had to cut it out. And then of course, you know, there's that is where the core support should be, so we had to cut more holes in the hood. Yeah, I mean, actually this is probably the first time I've actually gotten a chance to show people this thing, because I've done so little content wise with this car because I got distracted with my shiny new Mustang that's all rusty and awesome. So yeah, let's get into this a little bit. It's a B18 non-VTEC. I port and polished the head. This is a newer second gen B18 non-VTEC head. The earlier ones from like 94 into like 98 or something, I don't know the year specific, but the earlier ones, the exhaust ports are a little bit smaller, they're not as refined, they're kind of crappy. That one I had on here before, I completely fucking nuked. That's why I have the newer head on it, because we had a runaway boost situation where it pulled two studs out of the block and tried to lift the cylinder head, and it looked like I took a blowtorch to the exhaust valve on cylinder number 1. But I was also pushing like 40 pounds of boost and spraying nitrous when it did it. Yeah, get gap Corvette. It royally fucked this poor car. I won, but at what cost? So anyways, newer cylinder head. These ones have a better flow design to them. I've got cut down LS Chevy truck fuel injectors. Let me get a flashlight. There we go. So you Chevy guys will recognize those plug connectors in a heartbeat. But yeah, they're LS truck injectors. So more fuel. It's got your 80 wet shot of nitrous. It's just tapped into my fuel rail over here with AN fittings, nothing special. And I got the little Y nozzle piped in over there. Bullshit eBay Greddy knockoff blow off valve, nothing special. Just a El Cheapo eBay turbo. I did blow it up once. I do have the rebuild kits for like an HKS or a Greddy or whoever makes their rebuild kits for those turbos. You can get online. All that stuff works on these. You just have to be careful when you're shimming out that shaft in the center of it. Mine, the shaft was a little bit too, I forget how that worked out, but anyways, I had to put a shim behind the compressor wheel on mine to get it to space out correctly, where I didn't have any shaft play and it wasn't binding. But anyhow, yeah, it's got a rebuild kit in it, and it's been holding up just fine for the last like 4 years. Well, for the most part. I am seeing a little bit of oil in the blow-off valve, but I know that's kind of normal to an extent, and I'm not seeing like excessive amounts, so I'm not really worried about it. It just pushes a little bit. What else we got going on under here? My eBay, this is a lot of eBay stuff on here. eBay coolant tank I've relocated way over there, and it's got a hose that runs all the way down and over the radiator. eBay freaking silicone radiator hoses, nothing special. Same goes for the vent. I actually do have the freaking Hasport JDM freaking polyurethane motor mounts in this thing. Because they were cheap. I was going to go factory Honda ones, but these aluminum ones were way cheaper, so I was like, alright, cool, we'll do that. I got a Skunk 2. I have no idea what size. It's like twice the size of the factory throttle body. That thing's massive, so I went through and took a carbide burr on a grinder and opened up the front of the intake manifold to accept that giant ass throttle body. So eventually I want to get a nice Skunk 2 intake manifold for it. But for now, this works with the big throttle body. I did the power brake delete. I forget who the hell made that. I think it was like Hone Development out of Australia. Makes that awesome little adapter block and everything to use the larger bore Honda Brakemaster cylinder from like the newer 97 to like 2000 something car. If you try to use the early 90s one, that plate back there where it mounts to it is clocked differently, and it'll lean your cylinder over, your reservoir over at an angle, and it's all fucked up, so you have to get the newer one. They don't tell you that on their website. They really should. But anyhow, you got to run the newer style Master. No big deal, because that one's easier to get a hold of anyways. I've got the Master cylinder support mounted on the shock tower there, because you got manual brakes, and when you're having to be a man about it, that firewall will flex a little bit, so that gives you a better pedal. I got steel braided brake lines all the way around. Got the drilled and slotted rotors, EBC pads. I've got the Integra rear disc brake conversion on this thing. What else did we do? Oh, there's the cool stuff. Those are 2007 Yamaha R1 rear shocks, both of them. And I even use the aluminum Y-link and bearings from the Yamaha on there because it's a 1-to-1 ratio on it. And believe it or not, with that 1-to-1 ratio, it's actually a little too stiff. So I think I'm going to remake those Y-links to make the side that goes to the actual control arm a little bit longer so it has more leverage, effectively softening my spring rate. Because it's pretty stiff. Like, it's good, but it can stand to be a little softer. That's all my own custom fab work back there. Yes, I know that battery looks like it's right on that crossbar, but I promise you I can get my hand between that battery post and the bar. Floor pan back here. That's all been cut out, and I made this cool little plate. All those bolts are from my diffuser underneath the car, which is all made out of aluminum. Did that at work. I have no idea what gauge that is. This is just what we had, and everything online looked really cool, and all the Time Attack cars have something similar to this. So that is what I made. The same thing that I see on all the Time Attack cars. Spider webs and leaves, cool. And I got a Godspeed rear sway bar kit, aluminum control arms, you know, all the normal Ricer stuff. Carbon fiber, more carbon fiber, more carbon fiber. The side skirts are actually 3 pieces. I made those myself out of aluminum and then powder coated them black. I made mine out of 3 pieces because A, it was easier to make them that way because I didn't have a brake long enough to do it all in one piece like the Track Life ones. And secondly, the cool thing is when I go to pick this up on a lift, I only have to take off that back section and that front little piece over there. So it's only 2 Allens. Take those off and then I can get the car on a 2-post lift. I don't have to pull the whole thing apart. It's a little more convenient. I have the knockoff Track Life fender cuts. They just look awesome, and I guess they affect drag and aero because that's what they do on the Time Attack cars and shit. So I figured, why not? Then I went hardcore with the JDM mono windshield wiper, and I did go through and the arm off of the motor inside your cowl here, if you take that on the motor side of it, if you take a 1/4 inch off of that, shorten it up a 1/4 inch, and just run the run bar from it to the first wiper, and use the wiper arm for the passenger side in the center, and also if you clock the little slot in it that splines it, literally just put it in half, make it look like a T inside there instead of just one straight slot, you can position this thing straight up and down, and it now will sweep across the entire windshield. It'll go all the way over to the A-pillar, and then it comes all the way down flat and back up. But if you don't reclock that, as long as you position it right, it'll lay flat over here against the bottom of the dash like it's supposed to, and nice and clean, and it'll still sweep the whole windshield. But anyways, that took a little bit of finagling to figure out the math there on that, which was not math. It was just cut a little bit, see what it does, cut a little more, see what it does, until I got it right. So, you're welcome. Take a 1/4 inch off of it if you want to do that mod. I've got a K-tuned adjustable shifter in there, you know, normal shit. It is a Civic Type R trans out of the EM1. It was rebuilt by Jasper. I bought this off of eBay, and there are my numbers. Yeah, see that EM1? Good stuff. Unfortunately, it's not a limited slip diff transmission. It just has the normal gears in there. I would like to get a gear type limited slip diff for it, and then do the straight cut final drive gear, because A, it makes it stronger, B, it reduces mechanical drag and allows you to make put more power to the ground, and it just adds to more screaming and whining noises that this thing will make, on top of my what I forgot to mention, my little dinky Japanese blower down here, which is tucked way down there. He's a tiny little guy. You'd be amazed how many times I get accused of that being an alternator. Like, dude, there's a giant tube coming out of the front of it. Never seen an alternator with a giant tube coming out of the front of it. And then another tube coming into the back of it. But anyhow, that is an, what is it? I forget how to pronounce it. Like an ASIN, I think is what it is. I think that's what's cast in the backside. It says ASIN, AMR 500. So anyways, Aisin are the actual Japanese ones. Those are what are found on the Nissan March Super Turbo. You can get on Amazon and eBay a Chinese copy of an AMR 500 supercharger. But I'll tell you right now, it is not the same. The outside casing looks identical, but the bore and porting inside of it, where the actual ends where the tubes go onto it, are way smaller on the freaking eBay ones. Like, and even then with mine, I went through and hogged them out and opened them up. And then the ends they give you to bolt on it are really small. We're talking like 1.5 inches in diameter. Like they choke it down so much that you're not going to get any flow through it. So these ones are actually like freaking, when you square it all out, it's like a 3-inch diameter hole, front and rear of the blower. But even then, with that blower on a 1.8 liter, this thing only made like 4 or 5 pounds of boost, like peak. Like that's all I got out of that blower by itself when I was just running that on the car, which was fun. You know, it made the car great, gave it a little bit of pep to its step. It sounded cool, it was fun. And then one of my buddies had no-balls me into like, dude, throw a turbo on it too. And like, what, like twin charge it? And then everyone's like, oh no, that shit doesn't work. He's just gonna blow the fucking thing up. It's not gonna work. Compounding boost doesn't work. It's a myth, whatever. Okay, well if it's a myth, how come fucking like Koenigsegg and fucking all those other guys are doing it? How come they're putting turbos on top of blowers and forcing it through? And why is there a like 1970s Peterbilt at my shop, well, where I work, that has a big ass blower the size of my torso with a turbo the size of my head bolted directly on top of the turbo, or on the blower, like just massive turbo going straight into the blower on this Detroit V8 diesel. Granted, that is the most badass sounding big rig motor I've ever heard in my life. That thing is insane. But anyhow, that was proof of concept enough for me. Fuck it, let's buy an eBay turbo, stack it up, see what it did. I blew this motor up twice trying to get this to work, because there's a weird thing going on here when you're trying to compound of, you know, that turbo down there makes like, you know, 4 or 5 pounds of boost tops, right? And if I got this guy over here pushing 7 pounds of boost, you don't get 7 plus 5 equals 12. It's like 7 plus 5 equals 35. If you get what I mean here. So what's going on is like it's building pressure, and then that pressure gets pressurized more so, like you're filling up a scuba tank. So like if I go through and cap off my blow off valve over there, which hangs wide open when I'm at idle because the throttle plate's closed, there's no vacuum, this thing, it will blow your hand away from it. This thing's pushing like 5 pounds of boost at idle, just sitting there. Like the turbo barely has to do anything for this car to make 10-15 pounds of boost cruising around, which is the main reason why I have it set up the way it is. I don't have it set up to make like peak high boost power. I made it to where it makes good, consistent, solid, smooth power. This thing, there is no lag. I love it. It pulls like my fucking Mustang. It's so great. But anyhow, yeah, I get plenty of that nonsense on Instagram of people saying, oh, that blower is just for show and noise. It doesn't do anything. It does do something. It fucking gets, it's literally my anti-lag. And if you say that's doing nothing, well, whatever, dude. WRC guys would absolutely love to have this set up if the rules would allow. I mean, might assume Subaru's done some tricky stuff like that with anti-lag and turning their turbos into jet engines so they stay spooled all the time. But I'm not getting into all that nonsense. That's a story for another day. But anyhow, so that's what I got there. Full-size radiator from an Acura Integra because I wanted this thing to stay cool, because all that stuff produces a lot of heat. So once I got to top mount turbo and full-size intercooler, even with the top mount turbo, as you can see in an EG, this ain't good. That was not going to work because my core support came from right here straight on across, and you can see where the headlight bolt is. That core support would be right where the turbo's at. So I cut the whole core support out of this thing, and I made a 1x1 tube structure to hang the radiator and the front bumper and headlights and everything, so I can cant that thing forward, and it just barely fits under the hood. I mean, my standoff right here, you can see all the residue where the poor carbon fiber hood's getting beat to death on there. I need to change this around a little bit more so I can get some more clearance. But yeah, you know, welding a little bung here for my crankcase vent, add a little bit more. DC Sport strut bar. I've got Koni adjustable shocks up front with the just the sleeve type coilover setup that goes on there. I love it. A little bit of adjustability to help me balance it out with the sport bike shocks on the rear. Which the rears, I've got them set as soft as they will go. In these, I've got almost cranked up as high as they'll go. So, but nonetheless, she handles great. I got the bigger sway bar on the front. I've got traction bars underneath it up front here. You guys saw the metric cage was just the back half on it. I've got Butler built aluminum seats in this thing. Harnesses, all that good shit. Where the hell is my tea at? I am fucking drying out here. Arnold Palmer. Alright, much better. But yeah, now that it runs and it's clean and there's no snakes, mice, or spiders inside the car anymore, let's see here. I need to get this thing inside because I got a really cool gauge package I want to put together in this thing, because I had a set in it a long time ago, but they burned out on me and I couldn't find them anymore. And I just recently found them again. So I ordered another setup for it, and they were like, I don't know if you've ever seen like the incandescent like backlit LED gauge faceplates. They're really freaking cool. And they, but anyhow, you'll see soon enough. I'm going to put those in the car. And I got this cool carbon fiber trim plate that's going to go inside there around them. Really, really nice touch. So I'm going to do that. I need to do a valve cover gasket. I've got a new turbo blanket for it. And I already did the new window sills out there, which are really desperately needed because it's going to keep crap from getting inside the car. And I don't think I have any other parts in there, but I don't know. I might have other shit in there that I forgot about that I've been meaning to put on this thing so I can start driving it next week. And hopefully I can like take this thing up to the mountains now that we're in like the fall season or whatever, and like the sport bike guys, well no, I take that back. In the fall season it's cooled down, it's more comfortable in leather, so the sport bike guys are going to be fucking everywhere in the mountains. So I don't know, I'll probably still go up there and go, you know, try to carefully chase some of these guys around in the mountains and, you know, try not to end up with a fucking Gixxer 600 stuck through my windshield. But we'll see. Anyhow, yeah, I'm going to reposition here, go get those parts and get this thing pulled inside, because unlike the Mustang, it will actually fit in here with another car on the rack. So, I'll be right back. Alright, so these are what I've got going on that are going to go inside my cluster after I get it out of the car and take it apart. It's my cool little carbon fiber trim piece. It's going to go over it, white face gauges, and they've got different settings and whatnot for the color, green, blue, which that's kind of the color theme with all the lighting I've done in it. So yeah, this is like super simple because it's literally just your power and ground off your dimmer switch. Go to that, and then these guys all plug into that, and it just bypasses all the backlights and everything in your original cluster. And this guy here has a little bit of 3M tape on the back side of it, so it'll just stick in there. And yeah, so I'm going to get a Phillips head screwdriver and pull my gauge cluster out, which this will not be a tutorial of how to take a dash apart on a 92 Civic, because half my shit's broken and missing, and mine is not going to come apart the way yours will. Yours will be much more complicated. So, let's get to that. But I did my screwdriver. There it is. Alright, so, yeah, this is what I got to work with here. Pretty bare bones. But, anyhow, pull my boost gauge apart, which is just, you know, 2 self-tappers right into the dashboard, as God intended. I mean, this dash is all cut up and missing all kinds of crap. I really need to get a hold of old dude over at CBC on Instagram. It's custom built cars, but he does a bunch of like 3D printed stuff, which is really fucking cool. He's been doing stuff for the Hondas lately. Like, don't know if you can see it, my little RAM mount piece right here. This is a 3D printed block that he makes, and the little ball and everything that goes in where the clock would go, which I had the clock, which is why I didn't run it for the longest time. But then my clock finally broke and was like, alright, cool, I can put my GoPro and stuff in here and do driving stuff, which I haven't done yet because, well, I keep seeing a lot of YouTubers and other guys getting in trouble for you know, doing test hits and having fun and stuff and not going to Mexico to do it. So I've been trying to find time to make it down to Mexico where we can go and do some potentially illicit things in the great country of Mexico instead of the United States, where I can't get in trouble for, you know, doing some pulls and whatnot in this. But anyhow, so he makes that, and then he also did this really cool vent delete up here in the dash, because I don't have any of the AC stuff in here anyways, which he makes one of those that has some really cool gauge pods in it, but he does like packs of like 2 or 3, and I only have 1 external gauge pod. But I think he makes a little piece now that goes over here I can put it right there. I need to check and see. I know he does it for other cars. I don't know if he does it for the EG Civic yet. If he does, I'm definitely going to hit him up and get one of those. But anyhow, while I'm at it, you know, not sponsored or nothing, it's just guy makes some really cool stuff. But that is the panel up there that he made. That delete, and that just literally snaps right in there like the factory one, like it's supposed to. Good fit and finish. I'm happy with it. This guy here is super strong. I mean, if it weren't for the fact that my dash is all screwy, there would be no play or anything. But even then, as long as you got like a vibration canceling camera, you're set. But yeah, if I can get something to move this guy to something that would go in that vent, that'd be pretty sweet. I gotta check and see if he does that. I'll bet he does. But anyhow, stick this back over here. You gonna stay? Alright. So, we'll unplug this guy. Pop vacuum line off. And we'll take that with it, because that little clamp will sure enough slide all the way down that vacuum line all the way to the firewall, and that'll be a pain in the butt. So, we'll just take it out here. Yeah, I think I've just got a couple of screws holding this in, and everything else is broken already because 1990s plastic. And I need to get a little stubby screwdriver, of course. Oh, I can get that one at least. Take another swing at this one. Nope, too steep of an angle. Yes, through the power of YouTube magic, I was able to swap out the long screwdriver for a little stumpy one simultaneously. I'm still trying to learn how to do that trick that all the other guys can do, where they snap their fingers and like 8 hours worth of work is done, like instantly. Because man, this stuff, this takes time. You know? It's not easy. Especially when I'm trying to do this stuff, work, and have a normal day job, which I'm sure a lot of the other guys do too, but you know, if someone could teach me how to do that, I would greatly appreciate it. But who am I kidding? My dumb ass still needs to learn how to make thumbnails. Like, I haven't figured that out yet. Every time I take a picture to go and put it up there and use it, it tells me the file's too big. Oh, what the hell? What am I supposed to do? Like a fucking like Minecraft picture? It's all 8-bit? Yeah. Well, you can crop it out of the video. How? I don't know how to do this shit. I know how to make shit go fast. Computer stuff, not so much. I mean, I know how to work with that computer over there on the floor. I can do that. I can make that work. But, the little algorithms and stuff are definitely not my area of knowledge. Still learning. I'll figure it out eventually, though. But apparently, I am really good at just pissing off the algorithm, that's for sure, because, you know, my sporadic posting and how random I am about this shit. I can't seem to keep my content straight. You know, one week I'm working on boosted EG Hondas, the next week I'm working on pit bikes, then I'm on to Harleys, and then I'm over to 60s muscle cars, and then I'm on to fucking paint. I don't know, I'm just all over the damn place. But screw it, that's how I am, that's how I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna be all over the damn place. You know, maybe I'll do some stuff with RC cars too. Y'all like rock crawling, drifting? I do all that shit. Anyhow, let's go get this to the bench over there and start putting this stuff in there and making it look not all riced out, because like this was fun for a little while, but it's very ricer and I don't like it anymore. So we're gonna fix that. Alright, so these guys are pretty simple. They come apart pretty easy. You got these little tabs, press down all the way around, and then this whole chunk will come off. You can actually get to the gauge panel itself. But typically, they're usually kind of old and brittle and they like to break. Mine's been broken and super glued a few times. Heck, it's not even all one gauge cluster. Like this is an automatic cluster with a tachometer from a manual and like mixed gauges from other clusters. It's like 3 clusters to make this one. So, and I had 2 more, which I have no idea what happened to them, which is really annoying because I need parts and I don't have my other 2 clusters I was using for parts. Anyhow, so that comes off after you get all those clips, which unfortunately this is all super glued and I need this separated so I can put that faceplate in here, which is really gonna suck. I forgot I did that. I'm not sure how I'm gonna separate that. I'll figure that out off camera. But anyhow, these guys, very cool stuff. They just slide in. I always just kind of fish it in and over the needles. Some people have that magic touch and they can take these needles off without breaking the gauge inside. I don't know how to do that. Every time I've taken one of these needles off, the gauge has not worked again afterwards. It breaks something inside and then I'm screwed. So luckily they make the holes big enough to slip over them. I don't do that. Yeah, I've given up on trying to do this without taking them apart because I will break it. I mean, and when it's that easy to slip in there, I mean, come on. Oh, hey, they did the holes different here. I can actually use those screws to hold this down now. They revised it. That's cool. All right, let me get a little Phillips head screwdriver so I can actually bolt these down. Because before I used little bits of painter's tape to hold the old ones in. I don't have to do that anymore. That's cool. Nice. All right, hold on a second. All right, so now do that. Get it centered up. Use the screws to hold that in place. That's so much better. I'm glad they changed that. Before, the holes for the screws were bigger than the screws, so you just slip it over and it sits in there. But to get it to stay, you had to like do it like I did. Put painter's tape on the corners or something like that. You know, find some other means, or glue the edges down, which wasn't really the greatest. I like this. This is way better. I don't have to do anything hokey now. Nice. Alright. And the cool thing is there's like little holes in the back of this, so these wires, you can run them through the back of the cluster out of it. You don't have to do anything weird. What in the world those other holes are actually for, I have no idea, but they're just open, so I'm gonna use them. Oh man, these even fit better than the original versions. This is great. Very nice. What holds this guy down? 3 screws? I think so. See the Motoil sticker that was hiding where the park neutral reverse stuff was over there? Oh, believe it or not, also, these come off the Motoil bottles. You ever notice that the logo on the back side of the Motoil bottles, this is actually like cut out. You can take this off and like it's actually a sticker for you to put on shit. That's pretty cool. Not many people know that. Anyhow, this one I don't believe has any screws, so I just gotta kind of set it in there. This one I'm probably gonna have to tape, but whatever, no big deal. Alright, now I'm going ahead, like already, that's going to be so much cooler, but it's going to look way better with the carbon fiber surround on the white faces. Like, that's going to be sick. So I'm not going to bore you guys to death on that. I'm going to go see what I can do about getting that apart without completely destroying it, and I'll be right back. Alright, I have somehow managed to separate this guy by using a razor blade. Anyhow, I just took the razor blade, got down in the edges here where the two meet, and just kind of gently worked and pried and cut the glue all the way around. And in some spots I got it to start and then tapped on the blade with the back side of a screwdriver to kind of chisel it out. But I managed to get it all off of there without breaking either piece of plastic, so we're doing good. I need to clean this guy up because it's all cloudy and gross. So I'll clean that up, probably hit actually with the headlight buffer and polish that up. And this piece, I'm going to pull the stickers off, and I don't know, I think I might hit this with some fresh satin black because it's all chalky from the glue and hazy and crap, and I don't want to have that nice piece of carbon in here and then the rest of it look like crap. So I don't know, maybe I'll do it gloss black. I don't know. Gloss, satin, silver? Nah, it wouldn't match anything. I'll do it some shade of black. But anyhow, I'm gonna go spray this real quick and then, yeah, I'll show you something cool in a few minutes. Alright, so it's been about an hour or so, and the paint's dry, and the lens has been reinstalled with some black 3M weather strip adhesive. This stuff works pretty darn good, and it'll come back off again later if I need it to. So, this is what we got. Nice new satin black in there, carbon fiber faceplate, polished up the lens so it all looks all nice and fresh. This part I've been looking forward to. Yeah, check that out. Oh, son of a bitch. Need to pop that off and get that guy pushed back up. Didn't realize I did that. Alright. But you get the point. I'll fix that in a second here. Before I go and throw all this back together, one piece of information you guys can actually take away from this that'll apply to whatever you're doing. Like 90% of Hondas, all the way up into the mid to late 2000s, use this same dimmer switch, like the exact same one, so obviously they're wired the same. This is the connector, it comes out of it. Oh, there it is. So, clip side facing up. When you want to tie your LEDs into it, solder them onto this red wire and this black wire. those are the ones you need. Those are on the control side of the dimmer switch. This is the power into the dimmer switch. But yeah, so if you want to tie any lights into your factory cluster lights or add LEDs, whether it be under your floor or whatever to tie into it, this is where you're going to go with your control. You're just going to grab these two. And with this kit that I've got for its control module, it's literally black to black, red to red, and you're ready to go. So I'm going to reposition the camera so we can throw this awesome looking new cluster in here, and I cannot wait to show you guys what that looks like all lit up. This is really cool. It looks like something out of a freaking video game. I love them. Let's see here. Plug these guys in, which is very easy. Interestingly enough, they give you 4 connectors on here, but I guess some of the kits have 4 different plates. But anyhow, those guys plug in, they get tucked in the back. Plug that in. That in. Now that can go back in there. You know what, before I go through and bolt all this down, I want to make sure this actually works. Those are all good there. And okay, so there's my lights. Yeah, there we go. So there's green, there's blue, brightness. Can't really tell on camera. I like the blue better. Yeah, let's see if we can get a better look at this. Oh man, it almost looks like a crisp white on here. But it's actually like a really light, like aqua blue color. And yeah, you can't tell on the camera. That's like a really, like a seafoam green. I like the blue better. But you can dim that down a little bit, brighten it up. Maybe in transition the camera can catch the color a little. But nonetheless, the whole plate actually glows a really nice, soft blue. Hell yeah. Alright, let's stick all of this stuff back together. Well, that's what we got. That, that. Make sure we're neutral. There we go, you can kind of see the color now. Yeah, LED doesn't always show up quite right on cameras, but it matches relatively close to the boost gauge, but yeah, I'm happy. Yep, she idles a little bit low right now because it's dead cold, but yeah, I'm happy with it. They look good. That's gonna work. It looks so much better than the sticker bomb stuff. Looks like an adult owns it now. But anyhow, I guess I'm gonna call it a video right there. I'm not done for tonight, but I know this one's gonna run long, so I'm gonna crop what I got here and put that together. And I'm probably gonna release more than one video at a time here. But yeah, thanks for checking it out. I'll catch you all in the next one.